I'm Daniel, the Past Life Regressionist, and it's time to begin.
Lift off and the clock has started.
This is Timeless Spirituality. Enjoy each of your time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Timeless Spirituality. Today's episode wins the award for two separate things. First, most philosophical episode, and second, my favorite title to date. And that title is A Case for Rose-Colored Glasses. So, what are rose-colored glasses? Well, rose-colored glasses are a pair of glasses that you put on because you want to view the world through a lens that may not be realistic. It's almost like you're living in a fantasy or a delusion or something of that nature. I think to some extent, we all wear rose-colored glasses from time to time. And for that, I am definitely guilty as charged. So this episode was recorded back in, this was the summer of 2021. And here I am on February 7th recording this intro of 2022. And as you'll come to see in the episode, I end up popping up during my guest Prachi's regression. And she saw me in a life that she'd previously lived, and we were friends in that life. And I just think that the universe truly works in mysterious ways because she came into my life at a time when I desperately needed to have that reflected back in me. That I couldn't view the world through rose-colored glasses anymore, that it was detrimental to my well-being. And if I'm being honest, I don't know how much has changed for me in the last 6 months. I titled this episode A Case for Rose-Colored Glasses because, well, one, I think it's a cool little double meaning there, a case for rose-colored glasses, like, you're making the case for them, but also a case, like a glasses case. And the truth is that if I was presented with the opportunity, I don't know if I would put away the rose-colored glasses. I can't tell you that for sure. Because I think sometimes, I'm speaking for myself on this one, but hopefully this will resonate with everyone else. Sometimes we just need to cling on to a pair of rose-colored glasses. But just because we need to doesn't mean it's what's best for us. So I thank my guest Prachi for not only being a great friend, but for also being the messenger for the universe for a message that I really needed to receive. So Prachi, to you, I'm grateful for that message. And thank you, universe, for bringing my long-lost past life friend Prachi back into my life. So I hope you guys enjoy episode number 14, A Case for Rose-Colored Glasses. And on the technical side of things, I would just like to thank each and every one of you for listening to the show and providing me with the space for my own personal growth, because looking back on this recording, I can see how truly nervous I was to be vulnerable. I could tell it in the way that I was speaking. Of course, I don't think anyone else could see it, but maybe you'll see it now because I've so graciously pointed it out to everyone. But I think it's one of those things that's beautiful because this is my time capsule. This is the journey that I get to look back on for the rest of my life. When 10 years from now, if I'm going on a cross-country road trip, I'm just going to pop on all my old podcast recordings and just see how far I've come on my journey. So I just want to thank each and every one of you for holding the space for me. And thank you. And if you would like to book a session to discover who, when, and where you have been in a past life, you can reach me on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist or my website, thepastliferegressionist.com. Prachi. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, you're welcome. Before we dive into your past life experience, you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yes. So my name is Prachi, and I find it so hard to introduce myself because I'm like, I am human. I am so many things. I am a technology consultant by day. I'm an artist. I love learning new things. I always consider myself a student. Yeah, I'm here.
I like how you started with human. That was good.
It's like, am I human? No, I am human. It's always so confusing when people say introduce yourself because most people tend to go towards their job, and I don't know that I define myself necessarily by the work I do. So it's like, oh, I'm Prachi and I'm passionate about animals and life and humanity and like helping others and discovering who I am. Like, that's really who I am. So I guess I should have started off with that.
You know what? Let's roll with that for a minute. Tell me more about that feeling of when you're asked that question.
Yeah, so I feel like a lot has changed from when the way I used to answer this question in the past. Because again, as I mentioned, I feel like I used to look at my worth and who I am based on the things I used to do, right? And now when I'm asked the question, who are you? How it goes into more like, oh wait, who am I? What am I passionate about? What makes me happy? Those are the things that I am progressing towards now. So what are my dreams? Like, what is my purpose? Or even that's a big question, because what's my purpose? Like, every day of living life is my purpose, actually. So it's all like a lot.
What are your dreams?
I have many dreams. A lot of them, some of them are personal. Like, I want to be able to speak like all the languages in the world, I think. I want to learn to dance. I'm learning the piano. So there's like a bunch of those kind of dreams. And then there's the other dreams are more aligned with being of service. I think something that's really important to me is giving back to this world and the community that I'm in. So I think service is a big dream for me. It's something that I want to be doing every day. So that means a lot to me.
What do you see yourself doing, say, in 14 years?
I don't know. 14 years is a long time. I don't know that I have the vision for 14 years. But then again, then I look at it, I'm like, why do I have to wait 14 years, right? Because every time I ask myself the question of how do I want to be of service? And then I get these, as I used to especially get these like big grand answers of like, how do I save humanity, right? Like, how do I save the food crisis or whatever it is, right? Like, solve the food crisis, not save it. But that used to overwhelm me so much, to the point where I used to be like, okay, another day wasted. Like, I didn't do anything about this. And then I would kind of like judge myself, maybe beat myself up about it. And I feel like now I've progressed to more of a view of, you can change the world every single day. You can live your purpose every single day. You don't have to wait, not 1 year, not 5 years, not when things are, when the right time arrives, or when I have more money or more time. No, I think that you can be that way in your daily interactions with people. Everything, if you find out what it is that makes you happy, or that one word that you can associate with your purpose. For example, for me, it's kindness. And at first I was disappointed a little bit when I heard the word kindness come up in my meditation, when I was like looking for my purpose, and it made no sense. And I said, this is too abstract. But then I realized that if I brought this to every single thing that I was doing in my life, no matter what it was, a corporate job or conversation with a stranger on the street, I was bringing forward my purpose in every moment. And that I try to put that to practice. Actually, I didn't try. I put that to practice since I think early 2020. And I've seen a big change in myself. And then it trickles to everyone around me. So I like that.
What's the change that you've seen in yourself?
It brings me closer to who I am. So I feel like when I'm closer to who I am, that's where my power lies. And I speak of power in the sense of truest and closest alignment to what my soul is, and my soul that is connected with source that is the creation of all. So when I'm in that alignment is when I feel like I have the freedom to be myself. And with that freedom, you're fearless. And then finally, you're acting or working or talking or whatever it is, every action, every step, every choice is coming from a place of what is for the highest and best of everyone. And it like, there's so many different things that come from that. Actually, the changes just, I've learned to let go of things that don't serve me. I've learned to appreciate others. I've learned to appreciate different perspectives, even if they're not aligned with my own. It doesn't matter, in that moment. I've learned to say, okay, we have differences, but that's fine. And all of these changes have brought about like more mental stability and more peace and more love, more appreciation. And overall, I feel like more oneness with everything and everyone.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You mentioned that it kind of trickles out to the world.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel that makes a difference?
I mean, it's interesting, really, because it's like the way I look at it, I always use this example of love. You don't have to go and love someone, right? Like when you think of like loving another person, you feel like, oh, I need to love that person. So like, what do I do? And all you're thinking of is like these external things, like what can I say to them? What can I do to them? What's their love language, right? Etc. But love is a frequency that you're carrying. So all you have to do really is embody it, right? So when you become the love that you are willing to give that person or, whoever else, when you become that love, it's like this field around you. So whoever comes into that field is automatically getting affected by it. And that's how I look at it. I actually literally look at it as a field, like a force field that is around me. So whoever's stepping into that then automatically is affected by it. And it's like, that's what I mean when I say it trickles to everyone. Even in terms of like, let's say you're not happy with the behavior of somebody else in your life, right? Happens ever so often, all the disagreements. But the way I look at it is that the moment I'm trying to change their behavior, I'm giving away all my freedom. Because I firstly am forcing somebody else to do something per my will, right? And it's never going to be enough because my will keeps changing every day. It's not practical to think about having somebody else change their actions per your requirements, right? So instead, when I do work on myself, I figure out what is it about that other person's behavior that's actually triggering me, what is it activating in me, and then you try to adjust it from that perspective. It becomes more internal. You are doing the work on yourself, and that is sort of like trickling to them, because then you're changing your perspective, and that's why you're changing the way you view them, and they in turn get affected by that, right? So if like it starts with one person, but if a lot of people are doing this, then it's just like trickling everywhere. Does that kind of make sense? It like makes complete sense in my head, but explaining it gets really hard.
Let me ask you, have you seen it make a difference around those in your life when you're in their proximity? It's okay. You don't need to be humble. You can just let it loose right now.
Everyone has changed because of me. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, absolutely. I have noticed that because I've noticed that some relationships that, like friendships that had fallen away are now, some of them have started coming back. For example, some people that I used to maybe have a relationship where I wanted them to like change certain things, right? Like I didn't like this, so I didn't like that. And I was expecting them to change that based on like what my view was. I realized that like, you know what, you can never change anyone. You're just like, nobody's going to be happy in that situation. So I let it be. And I figured out what it was within myself that I wanted to see. So when I did that work on myself, that repelling energy, that repulsive energy that, initially used to like push them away from me because it's like, oh, she's just going to nag me. Like, I don't want to talk to her. That goes away. And now you're looking at them with the eyes of, I'm observing you, I'm supporting you, I'm holding space for you. And whenever it is that you want to see and can see whatever it is that, this disruptive behavior is, according to me anyway, then they can, whenever it's their time, they'll see that, right? So you just hold space for them to become their own person in that. And then that energy just shifts suddenly, because then they want to speak with you. Then they want to ask you questions of like, oh, I see this thing, like, what's going on here or whatever. I've seen this happen. I'm not bragging or anything, but like.
No, it's okay. Please do. You have my permission.
Oh my gosh.
Let
Absolutely.
it
It's
loose.
like
Let that ego loose, Prachi.
I have such a big ego. It's hard to tame sometimes.
How about this?
Hmm.
I am God's gift to the world. Here, does that kind of make it
I
easier
am
for you?
God. Hey.
Oh, I was just trying to make it easier. I didn't want you to have to get in a pissing competition with me over it. But yeah, okay, let's go with that. You are God. All right, now just let that ego run loose.
Oh my
Just,
God.
just totally toot your own horn right now. By the way, I
Well,
don't think I'm God's gift to the world. But I was just
but
trying.
you
Yeah.
are, and so is everyone
Yeah.
else. That's what I'm. I don't know. It's kind of funny saying that because when you say that and I hear that, I'm like, oh my gosh, you sound so self-righteous and so like, just like this, whatever. It's like a fiction, world of fiction in my head. But really, I just believe that we're all extensions of that same source.
Mhm.
So it's it makes the extension. It's like the parent-child analogy that I use. Like just because you're a part of your mom and dad doesn't make you your mom and dad, but you still have the same capabilities and same powers, so long as you're willing to see and appreciate them and recognize them. And you can use them, you can learn to use them. But most people, because of conditioning, we are born and the minute we're born, we're taught that we're sinners and that like we have all these issues and that we need to somehow work to earn our worth. And we need to work to get praise, and we if we don't do something then we get punished, and like the whole raising is based on that. So we learn to believe other people's words more than we trust our own experiences that we're living in day-to-day life. And that's why it's crazy, because then the conflict is immense, because that your intuition or whatever it is, like that voice inside your heart is telling you something. Like you knew you were worth it when you were born. You're like, yeah, I'm worth it. And then people told you weren't, because you had to earn it. Do the dishes, or you're a bad person, whatever. It's like, no, I'm a good person regardless of whether I want to do the dishes or not. But you know what I mean? So I feel like that's played a pivotal role in like just making everyone feel like they are here to earn something. And really all we're here to do is, in my view anyway, again, I think this is a disclaimer I should make. Everything is my opinion.
Mhm.
But we're just here to experience ourselves in the physical, and help our souls evolve in each other's as well. So that's how I view it.
Well, thank you for all that. I have a question for you right now. And of course, if you're
Mhm.
not comfortable answering this, then I totally understand. So you live in the United States right now,
I
but you're
do.
not a native of the United States.
No, I'm not.
And from what you told me, you have certain requirements that need to be fulfilled in order for you to stay in the United States.
Mm.
How does this
Mhm.
conflict with your desire to just be Prachi?
Oh my gosh, this has like been a long-standing battle. Anybody who's on a visa in the US will know the ebbs and flows, and I'm forever grateful that I have this opportunity to be here. And the US has given me so much. It really has. There's also been certain times where I feel like I've not been able to fully be myself, fully express my views, because it's like, oh crap, like if I get into politics, will I get into trouble? Like, whatever, etc. So on those lines. So there's been times where I felt more restricted in those ways. But and this was the first, whatever, 3 years of me being here, right? And now I'm on my 6th year, I guess. I realized that I don't believe that any experience, like every experience happens for a reason. And I believe that there was a reason that experience also came into my life. Maybe I wasn't meant to say that, because now that I look at it, I'm here to anchor oneness. All this like political agenda or all this stuff about whatever's going on in the world today, there's a lot of duality. So we have to be very careful of how we address it, because we want to address situations in terms of like, we want to stand up for what's right. Let me say that. But we also want to make sure we're coming from a point of like more oneness, rather than like from the agenda of like separating and creating division, more division than already exists. So I think there was a reason that happened. And I used to feel like it stopped me from being Prachi, but really didn't. It was shaping me and showing me some things that I wasn't ready to see back then. but I see now, and I'm like, okay, I feel so much more free actually, because I can be myself no matter what country I'm living in, even if I'm living like underwater or something. It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't take anything external to be me, is something that it had to take that route to show me. So I used to feel restricted. Now I'm feeling a lot more liberal, actually. So that's good.
Well, thank you for your elevator pitch answer of tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Oh my gosh.
Here we are 20 minutes later.
Everything about
Awesome. It's okay. I kind of provoked you a little bit, so you're not totally
Oh,
responsible for it.
well, I'm a consultant, we love talking about ourselves, so I can go on.
Oh, it's okay. That's why I wanted to have you on.
I'm just messing.
Well, that was the beauty of also having you on as a guest. Is it pretty much knew that if I just asked you one question, that you would just kind of roll with it, and we'd start in one place and then end up somewhere like, hey, how do we get here?
No one
But
knows.
that it would somehow be relevant. So
Yeah.
that was awesome. Thank you so much for that. I want to give you a choice right now. Would you like to talk about your experience with past life regression, or is there something else that's coming up for you right now that you'd like to talk about?
I feel like we could start off with the past life regression. I'm sure something else will come up and take me on a tangent somewhere in a
Okay.
different world. But yeah, seems like we can start off here.
Awesome. Let's do it. So what came up for you?
It was a fun experience. Firstly, thank you for doing that with me. It was awesome.
It's
It
my
was
pleasure.
everything that I had expected, and also some things that I had not expected. I thought I was actually wondering if like how I would be able to see this, like would I visualize it, would I, because I'm very visual as a person. But it was very strange because I did see stuff like in moments. There were more feelings than anything. There were moments where I can even smell stuff. I was like, okay, that's cool. A lot of stuff came up for me in terms of it gave me a deeper understanding as to why there are certain things about me that work in a certain way. This is a very vague a way of putting it, but basically it gave me insight into there's some situations in my life I didn't understand why they were happening now. I've tried to do some introspection in terms of like this lifetime, right? Say like, okay, like where did I pick this up from? Like, why did this happen? Like, why am I reacting, responding in this way to this specific situation or person or whatever? And it didn't make sense within this lifetime. But when I went back into my previous lifetimes, and I think we went through what I think it was like two at least. We went in depth, but in two different lifetimes, and it gave me insight into because it was so amazing to watch that it was the same person, like it was different exterior. Because I thought I was like this one time I was like this Caucasian woman, working in like a field or something. I wild, and it gave me insight into that the essence of Prachi, the soul, remained the same no matter what the body was. That was amazing to actually witness and feel, because when I was reliving that, I felt it, right? Like it was still me. That was awesome. And then I also noticed that there were souls who, the same souls that I'm surrounded by. Like, see, I knew this in theory. Like, I still know this in theory. I've read it that, same souls keep getting reborn in like the same families or like, in friend circle, whatever it is. And like, the interactions that you have, you've met these people before. But when I went back in those lifetimes and I saw the relationship dynamics between these friend souls or like other souls that I had, it was so interesting to see how that has also progressed and played a role in my life, and how that friendship, love, whatever it is, like has carried on from those into this one. um it was so interesting, and Daniel was there, in you were there in my previous lifetime, and it was so interesting to see how when I first saw your video, and this is before I even met you in person in LA, but when I saw your video, I was like, I know this dude. It's so weird. It sounds wild. This is crazy. Like, who's this guy? And I came across you on Instagram. So that was the first place I saw you, right? And then when we did the sessions, it made, it made so much more sense as to like, oh, I've known this person across like 3 different lifetimes. Like, okay, that makes that makes sense. And then we see the relationship dynamics and like how those have evolved even from that lifetime into this one. So really, I love that. Just it was heartwarming because it also gave me the sense of, this is going to sound a bit morbid, but like looking at it from like, you never really lose a person, even if they die. Like you know that in theory again, but just like the experience of living those, reliving those past lifetimes, it's like, oh, that person was there and they died at some point, but they're back here. So there must be like a beyond where we live together happily. I don't know. So it was nice.
When
I spoke for like 10 straight minutes, I think.
No, that was great. Like I loved every second of it because you were talking about me a little bit. So naturally I was going to like it. But I don't know if I told you after, we first started talking, I saw you in a regression that I had. Did I tell you about this?
You briefly touched upon it. Yeah.
So for everyone listening right now, I had recognized Prachi because, well, she wasn't Prachi in that life. We were both very pasty white in that life. And
we were. It's wild how you decided to go the same route and I didn't.
My hair was a little bit lighter in that one. I was a little, I guess fugly is the word that I would use too. Maybe not. I don't know. I can't picture myself with curls that are like cherry blonde. I can because I saw it, but yeah. And anyways, in that life, I was a fool, I guess you could say. And Prachi had my back. She had my back 100%. I mean, for lack of a better term, the whole town was against me. And she had my back. So when I first met Prachi, I knew it. I knew that there was a connection there. But as I saw Prachi in my regression, then I understood because I still hadn't met Prachi in person when I saw her. And I don't even think I really knew what you looked like at that point too, but I knew it was you. So it's just like, it's interesting how these dynamics carry over because it's that feeling now that I have towards Prachi is like, I've got your back. I would do anything that you needed. Like if you're in trouble, like I'm there because it's still that feeling deep down of you had my back hundreds of years ago and I'm never going to forget that. And it makes sense in a weird way. And what I'm fairly confident of is that I did not mention that to you before your session. I am pretty sure I didn't tell you that
No.
Yeah.
So wasn't like.
Right. And what I also do think I mentioned to you is once you dropped into that life, I knew it right away. I'm like, well, it's only a matter of time before I'm going to show up in this one right now. I mean, because just the way you were describing it, like, yeah, I've seen this. Like, this is it. So when you said, "Oh, you're here," like I wasn't surprised. Like it took,
yeah.
It took you that long to see me. But I mean, the scene that I saw with Prachi in my regression, where I savagely got the shit beaten out of me, like, just in the middle of the town square, and she helped me. She helped me get to my feet, and we walked over to the equivalent of what an alley would be, somewhere in like Switzerland or near the Alps a couple hundred years ago. Where it was
my gosh, yes.
Like behind
That's
a building.
What it was.
But she like helped me off the street, like when everyone was just walking over me, and she had my back. And my question to everyone listening right now is, have you ever felt that dynamic with anyone in your life where you may not know them, but once you meet them, you're like, I know you. And you just have this inherent pull towards wanting to have their back. Because like I meet people and I'm like, yeah, like, I'd help you out if you need it. But like with Prachi, it was the feeling of, I got your back. I don't know why, but I've got your back. And it makes sense. So it's really cool, especially for me to have that confirmation also come back in Prachi's session of her seeing me when I had seen her. I think when I did the session, it was about, or had my session, I want to say it was about 2 or 3 weeks before we did yours. But to just have that overlap, I'm like, okay, maybe there's something to this.
I think both of us needed it at that time because, as far as my understanding goes about past lifetimes, you're not shown everything. You're only shown the bits that are relevant for you to see in that moment, so that you can, because it's not when you, and you can agree with me or disagree with me or correct me, whatever. But about past life regressions is that you getting to see yourself in those lifetimes and like recognizing the souls is a great byproduct of it. But the main goal is for you to be able to understand where you came from. It gives you deeper insight into things that you're facing in this lifetime, and like maybe somewhere in a past lifetime you picked it up from there, or like it started there, or it, you know, triggered it there, whatever it was. And that's what you bring here. So sometimes in this lifetime you're not able to make sense of like, why is this way? And the point is not to say, oh, great, I saw this past lifetime, now I want to live in the past, I want to go back there, or whatever it is, or like I want to create that lifetime here if it was an amazing one. The point is to take those lessons and see whether how your soul has evolved from those like many thousands of years ago, or like whatever lifetime ago, to this one, right? It's just incredible seeing that. Gives you a little bit of a view into yourself, and then you can pat yourself on the back and say, great, I made progress, this is where I've come now, you know, this is where I can adjust. So it's an awesome tool. I think it's awesome.
I'm a fan of it.
I mean, I was hoping you'd be.
I kind of like it a little bit. But I feel the dynamics are so cool at play. And like, it's so cool to see my old friend again. You know, this person who had my back. And I think for your session, it was important for me to see. I think still, it was that validation that what I was seeing in mine was, and I still won't say with 100% certainty that it was real, because I think it could still be written off as somehow on some subconscious layer, we were linked there, and we were tapping into something weeks apart to play out some delusional fantasy that we had concocted while we were sleeping or something like that.
Just they were crazy.
There's that too, yeah. So it can be written off, but at the same time, if we're going with that explanation, the crazy one of just drawing upon something, it still means we're drawing upon something that you can't see, smell, see, touch, or feel. You know, something that eclipses the senses, something that can't easily be explained. Because is it just a coincidence? Because I've had, at this point, I don't know, 30 plus regressions. And I just happened to see that one that time. And also for anyone listening right now, the life that we're referring to was not the first one that she saw. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that I asked any leading questions to get you to that life.
No, I just saw it.
And in me making that concerted effort beforehand to not bring it up because I didn't want to have any influence on your session whatsoever.
Yeah. I think we discussed that.
Yeah. So I believe it's real. Maybe not. But yeah. You have a thought.
At the end of the day, though, I feel like whether it's real or not, I don't know that it really matters. It's like what you were saying just now, right? Because either way, from that session and whatever we got out of it in that lifetime, so whether I made it up or you made it up or whatever it was, there was still stuff that wasn't the actual experience, which is why I'm going back to saying, like, it's not the actual experience that matters. It was the things that we saw and learned from that we're carrying now. So no matter what that experience was, you and I still got out of it with this knowing, but see, we got out of it with an old friend or a new friend that we think is an old friend. But we also came out with a clear picture, at least for ourselves, as to, okay, this is why I feel this way. This is what I can do about it. This is why I'm, et cetera, et cetera. So like all those things. So it's still awesome. I was like, I mean, who cares if it's real or not? Like, I don't know what is real anyway. Like, all of this is a vessel.
I think the message is what's important. And, in that particular life, it wasn't so much a matter of what you saw as much as what I saw in mine, which was I was living in a fairy tale. I think that's what it was. And I have oftentimes found myself in this life living in a fairy tale as well when I shouldn't have. And as a result of the session that I had with Prachi, I got myself a little gift after that session. And I now keep them on my desk as a reminder that I can't view the world through rose colored glasses. So for everyone listening right now, I just put on those pair of rose colored glasses. And like that's what came out of the session for me, is that I could easily write off my experience that I had and choose to ignore it, but I couldn't ignore Prachi's experience and her not having prior knowledge of what I saw. So I can't live my life that way anymore. And it's a painful outcome, I guess you could say, for me to come to viewing the world through rose colored glasses for 35 years and then having to accept that I've been a fool in this life too, just like I was in that life. And it got me killed in that life. So it's what I needed. And I think the universe works in mysteriously beautiful ways that Prachi was able to get something out of that session, because look, at the heart of it, it was her session. So it was all about her. And I just happened to be on the other side of it, which was great. And I was able to receive what I needed. And I thank you for being the vessel for that, because I received the message loud and clear. And I believe that was almost 2 months ago when we had that session. And I can say that in that 2 months, I've been presented with opportunities where I could view the situation through rose colored glasses, but I've made the choice not to. So I thank you for that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that, that you were able to take those off, because the only way to get through pain is to see it first and then to get through it. Like there's no suppressing this. You have to feel it to release it. And that's the only way you actually cut off that pattern. And then it stops showing up in your life in that same, in like with different faces, or with the same soul, but in different faces or different bodies or whatever it is, right? So like, or the same situation happening over and over again. Because if it's at the core of your being, it is going to show up, because it defines the foundation of the relationship that you have with yourself. So in that moment, then you're bringing it back into your life again and again. So the only way to see it is to remove those rose colored glasses and say, okay, all is not well. Sometimes things are not good, and that's okay. It's, this sucks. I don't like this. This is terrible. This made me feel awful. I felt betrayed, hurt, whatever it was. And it doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you human, and it makes you experience things that you came to this earth to do anyway. You didn't come here to experience pain, but like, you cannot experience happiness unless you don't know what pain is. Like it's just how duality works, in my opinion. Like, because we all have the idea of love, like we all have the concept of love, but if you've never felt pain, how would you know what the greatest love is? Like it just doesn't happen, because it's just gonna taste bland then at that point. I don't know.
You did well. Thank you, Prachi. And where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram. So my handle is Peach Schnapps. I'm just kidding. But it is PSCHNAPPPS. And you can find me on Instagram, or you can email me, I guess. I don't think anyone uses email these days though. But I'll add that as an option because I'm old school.
Yeah, you're an OG there, huh?
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Prachi, and just thank you for what you did for me hundreds of years ago. I hope that there's some way that I can repay you. And
I'm expecting froyo on the weekend, if that's
okay. Well, it'll be an excuse for me to get frozen yogurt. So thank you very much for everything, Prachi, and I can't wait to see what the future has in store for you, because I think these little rants that you go on are going to land you in the spotlight at some point, because you're going to go up on stage like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about. Let's talk about bandages. And then you can somehow end up at, talking about string theory after that. Well, something like that.
I do jump a lot. And the funniest part is that for the most part, it's amazing how the topic just evolves from one thing to the other, and everything that it's, needs to come to light in that moment, and that space just happens. I like that.
So just again, thank you so much, Prachi, and you're welcome back anytime to talk about
Yes.
whatever you want. So we don't need to plan anything because I'm sure I'll just say, what the hell do you want to talk about today? Well, and then, they launch into it. So thank you so much. And I'll see
Thank
everyone
you.
for the next episode. Fellow time travelers, your journey through time awaits you. Just want to thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. And if you're interested in discovering who, when, and where you have been throughout time, and you'd like to book a session with me, just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist, or you can reach me through my website, yourpastliferegressionist.com.